Starting soon. Howdy.
Hello and welcome back to the Album Book Club. Today we are going to be reviewing Rose Pink Cadillac by the band Dope Lemon. We have a very special guest. Not so special anymore, but he's still special in all of our hearts. Carl, what do you have to say?
Hello, Internet.
Homie's been on for like all of fucking 20 seconds and gets roasted out the ass.
Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, when did this album come out?
2022.
2022?
I think so. I think that's right.
I believe you are correct.
That seems about right.
What? I don't know what kind of genre to label this as.
It's alternative, but
Alternative.
it's like
Vibe.
it's vibe music.
It truly is the vibe music. At least that's how I felt throughout pretty much my whole listen.
I mean, that is the season 3 standard right now.
We listen to it for the vibe.
We've had more vibe albums on in the half a season we've had so far than we have in the first 2. So
It's been so great
It
So,
really
like,
has.
just be able to relax while I write this review instead of fucking tear my hair out every 3 songs.
Well, speaking of the review, let's start it off with our top 3 songs. My top 3 are Rose Pink Cadillac, Stingray Pete, and Every Day is a Holiday.
this motherfucker.
I have Every Day is a Holiday, High Rollin', and Howl with Me.
Copy paste what Carson said. Rose Pink Cadillac, Stingray Pete, and every day is a holiday.
All right, I have Rose Pink Cadillac, Shadows in the Moonlight, and Lovesick Brain.
Ooh. All right, let's get into our bottom song. My bottom song is High Rollin'.
Stingray Pete.
Damn.
You.
Shadows in the Moonlight. Unfortunately.
I was going to say, regrettably,
Yeah.
Every Day is a Holiday.
So my favorite.
Damn.
Look, I'll explain it, man.
We all have different bottom songs this time.
That is weird.
I say my bottom song like it's not like fairly well rated.
I think that's the case here. It was really hard for me to pick a bottom song. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like a lot of this was like in the same category of score.
Yeah, same.
Yup.
All right. Without further ado, let's get right into the individual songs. First up is Rose Pink Cadillac. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I gave this one an 8.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Fair enough, boys. God. What a banger. It's great vibe music. It sets up this album in like a really perfect way. Like you know exactly what you're gonna get into for the rest of it, and it rides that vibe the whole time.
Yeah, me and Logan were talking about it. This is the song that I found the band off of, and I've known it since before this album came out. So this is like the most recognizable song for me, but we've talked about it. You can pretty much not even hear every song in between this and the last song because it is that good flowing together. Like I hear this song and then gone until I hear the last song turn on.
So it should be stated, this side of the couch owns it on vinyl. This is your guys' the first listen of it?
First
Yeah,
listen.
first listen.
Damn, we're at the polar opposite spectrums. I think I listened to this album like 5 times this month already.
Let's say I'm at like 3 this week.
I would say
I
5
am at-
without this review.
I am at 5 this week, but
I was at 2 last week before we figured out which album we were listening
Yeah,
to.
it was. Well, it's because we were hanging out and then we were like, let's put
Yeah.
on Dope Lemon.
I was going to say, if you don't count the little bit you were playing it last week, this is the first time I've heard it. The first time I really listened to it.
Yeah.
I just had one complaint. I said,
What the hell?
boy, what the hell, boy?
yeah, I said it was a little one-dimensional. There's no real change-up. That was the only thing. You know, it kind of comes in and then it's just there the rest of the time, which I understand is the whole point. But, I don't know. There's some other music in this genre that does kind of move a little bit more. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. I think this is just perfect to vibe to. That's the honest answer is whatever mood you're in, if this doesn't uplift it, it's not going to be for you. So if you're like kind of having a great day, to me, this is the perfect song. I regularly listen to this song. Boy, actually, I usually just put on the entire album if I'm going to listen to this song, to be honest. It's just great.
Well, yeah, because you put on this first song, and then in
You're like-
what feels like 15 seconds, you're at the end track. You know, it's a very, very easy
And
listen.
I noticed it about halfway through. These are not short songs for how
No.
fast
No.
this album feels. These
Yeah,
are
it's-
like 5 and 6 minute long songs, and you feel like
54
it's 10 minutes.
Mhm.
54 minutes for 10 songs.
tracks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here, I'll tell this story now because I missed out on my like final listen and like in-depth full review because this song put me to bed. It fully put my ass to sleep. I was so like just happy listening to it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm home. I can finally relax on my couch, and I was gone, just dead asleep. Woke up like 6 o'clock. Have to get over here, mouth covered in drool. It was gross, but it was great.
Carl, I gotta ask, did you get a chance to watch the music videos and the visualizers for this?
No, I watched just an album cut on YouTube. I didn't click the videos. I saw there was a video for this one.
There's a video for like, Jesus, for like 5 or 6 of these, and even the visualizers. This man knows exactly the vibe of every song on there. They fit like they're the most perfectly fitting videos and visualizers to the songs that I think I've ever seen.
Thank
And-
you, Shroomy. Venom shirt does rock. Sorry for interrupting. I thought you were done.
You're good. I was just gonna say that after we were waiting for this to start, I played all of them on the TV before you got here.
Oh,
You did. I had
That's
not
why
seen
YouTube
them.
was on.
There's one of them that I'm glad you did not watch because I'm sure the place you were watching it would not have been very good for. The one music video.
The one we can't review.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a solid video. There's a lot of ass. No, I don't think you can start this album off in a better way, to be honest. Like for as far as what you're getting out of it overall, this is the vibe of the entire album until the end. So yeah, it's great. It deserves the title track. I think this one truly earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next song. Hey, I wait till everybody's done. I ain't about this whole skipping over people shit.
We appreciate it.
I skip everybody.
Everybody's voice matters. Kids falling in love. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Not yours, by the way.
I know.
7.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7.5.
I think it carries that vibe straight through. Like from the first listen, this is where it becomes a little bit more muted for me. Like, because Rose Pink Cadillac, that really stands out as like this is the vibe. This one mellows it out a little bit.
If you were ever gonna fall asleep to any of these songs, this is probably the one.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think there might be one other that's like I would say the chillest or has the least. I don't want to say energy, but that might be the best word for it. I definitely could see like completely dissociating having this song on for like 6 hours or something, or just falling asleep to it.
It's like he went from drive to neutral. You know, he just slowed
Yeah.
it down. By the way, in my notes, Rose Pink Cadillac has a full review. This one has one word, so I believe I did actually fall asleep with this one.
It's really funny. No, I had this had a killer guitar tone in it. The parts of the what I'm assuming was a recorded guitar. There's a lot of samples on this album, and it's kind of hard to tell. They're all mixed in so well that some of the stuff is really hard to pick out. But I just put out that it got darker. I think that was probably the reason it went a point lower than the first one, because all of these songs are really similar. They all flow together really well. It just got something weird in the kind of mid bass, and then the top kind of rolled off a little bit on this track. It was interesting to hear the first one flow into this one.
Yeah, it was just very fun. But in that analytical lens, this is a touch long for what the song is. This is one of those ones where it's like shave off 30 seconds. The ending just kind of went on longer than it should have. But also, in that being said, it does have a very abrupt ending. We listened to it on or at least Connor and I listened to it on vinyl. And so you don't get the audio fade, you get in Apple Music. And so there was just like a kind of abrupt ending into then the same vibe with like a slight cut off. It was weird. Not bad.
I don't know. I wrote this down at this point in my notes. Do you guys know who R.L. Burnside is?
No.
Heard
Okay.
the name from
Well, I'll have to
somewhere.
play that for you later. It's adjacent.
I'm illiterate. All right, let's get into the next song. Howl with Me. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
I gave this one a 9.
I give this one an 8.5.
I gave this one a 7.
All right. I like this one. I didn't like it as much as the previous tracks. Thinking about it, the percussion section does go hard.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say like I really liked the percussion section, and I think the vibe from the previous song, how we were kind of in neutral, we've shifted it back up, but like half a gear.
Like I was telling you guys before, this is just a song from the band War.
Yeah.
Like this, the beat behind it, the percussion, and even the vocals have more effects, obviously, but like, yeah,
I
and
put
it's great.
whatever sample they used on the drums sounds really killer, especially in the intro when it's kind of full cranked. The only thing I wrote that I wish the vocals were a little clearer. I know they're kind of buried a little bit, which is probably on purpose. It kind of gave me the right vibe when I was looking for it.
This one's also the music video for this is a bunch of like mascot costumes are trying to find a better way to sell weed. So
Very good
they
music
just
video.
mod a motorcycle.
That's pretty cool.
Was a great music video. I feel like this one, just like I vibed with a little less, is the honest answer. I think everything about it was great. Loved every second of it. The drums and the horns were great. It was just one that I think was maybe a little emptier than I was feeling at that time when I wrote my review.
All right, I believe that takes us into our next song, Stingray Peak.
Oh God.
I gave this song a 9 out of 10, though I think I am going to change it to a 9.5. I think you guys
Great.
convinced me earlier.
I gave this a 7.
I gave it a 9. I will not be changing it, even though the music video probably could warrant that.
I gave it an 8.5.
This song fucks. Come on. He wanted to do it, and he fucking did it. We get a wonderful, like... I like the vibe that it comes with, because we get that more, like, western-y kind of feel.
This is a Western song.
Yes. That western kind of feel, and it's great.
Almost a country song.
That's the most NPC thing I've ever heard.
True.
This is a Western song.
Well, there's only two kinds of music, country and western.
Both
And
kinds.
the half point does absolutely come from that music video. That was awesome. Walking around in a cowboy hat and a duster, setting the cornfield on fire.
Since I'm alone in my of this song, my rating, this was my lowest song. Do you guys like love Tame Impala? Is that one of your things?
So
I am ignorant.
here's my take on Tame Impala. I think Tame Impala would be really good if anything about them was done ironically.
Okay.
It's the same way I feel about ICP. If it was... All right, ICP, I have heard otherwise that they do it as a joke. But originally I was told, no, those guys take it seriously. I'm like, if you take that seriously, fuck off. But like, if Tame Impala was a joke, where some guys were like, we're just going to release some like solid songs that are just way too overly produced, it'd be a great joke.
I was just curious because I'm not a huge fan, so I literally wrote probably too much Tame Impala in my notes, and some of it it's not really fair. They're both Australian, it's some of it's the voice, some of it's the accent, and that's probably me being a little unfair. But that's why this one went down a little more. Is I really felt it in this track. So if you like Tame Impala, you're going to like that.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I noticed, other than like liking the song, was they had this like counter melody going with a banjo and a synth that were kind of fighting to be on top, and I thought that part was sick to the point where I wrote down we should cover this with Witchy. So I think that would be across the board would be a fun thing to cover. There's just a lot going on, but none of it seems too crazy for us to do.
The banjo might be the best part, though.
3 weeks, 3 banjos, baby. I ain't even gotta say anything. I've praised banjos the last 2 weeks. That's always a hit in my mind, and it's just a vibe, you know. I like country music. I like Western music. I like the vibe. It's hitting.
Also, song name 10 out of 10.
Hell yeah. All right, let's get into the next one. Sailor's Delight. I give this one an 8.5 out of 10.
I give this an 8.
7.5.
8.
I thought they used a really cool sample for this. And then, obviously, I'm not going to lie. When I went from Stingray Pete to this, I was a little disappointed. Only because I wanted more Western music.
Is there not a slide guitar on this?
There
That's-
might be.
That's just the modern way to make Western music, duh.
It's just, I don't know how we went from Stingray Pete into this one that seamlessly. That's kind of what I want to talk about here. Because while you're listening to this in the background, it does very much feel seamless. And it's such a, like, it's not exactly a clashing of things, but the way he's fused it together, the way he's sewn the album together is really impressive here.
So we'll talk about it later, but I almost re-listened to this again on shuffle to see if it mattered.
Oh, ooh, I do have a note about
As long
that.
as you start and end the same, everything in the middle you can pretty much jumble up.
Okay, so here's what I'll say
With the
about
exception
that.
of one track.
I did accidentally listen to it on shuffle when I first listened to this album. I started with Rose Pink Cadillac, and the end song came somewhere in the middle. And when I first listened to it, the only song I noted, like out of the rest, the only 2 songs I noted were the first one and the one weird long one in the middle that sounded like an ending song, because I thought I was listening to it in order.
That's funny. So, I mean, at this point, I kind of started noticing that they were all around the same tempo. You know, they all have kind of the same vibe. So I think you could flip them around. And, I mean, any of these songs is going to fit very similarly together. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that helps this album a lot.
Yeah, it didn't lose that quality of you notice these 2 songs and the rest of them blend a lot, but it's a good blend, not a bad blend.
This is the beach song. It's a vibe album. You got to have it. They've had the lake song, the selling weed song.
You know, the standard ones.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, if you watch the visualizers of the music videos, he knows everything that I just said is 100% correct.
Yeah, I picked up on the beach theme. I did really like the 808 or whatever drum machine they use. The actual kick. The fuzz was pretty sick too on whatever that was. I don't know. There were some cool tones in this one. I thought I'd probably rate it a little higher than the last one for me.
Yeah, this had like a lot of weird shit just going on in it. This was the song I noted that there was either a flute or a really shitty MIDI version of a flute, and I couldn't tell which it was because it was either like a naturally recorded flute or the worst MIDI they could find. And I don't know how you can explain that those 2 things sound the same, but they kind of do.
It's also baked in. I think that's part of like that thing that made me think it was kind of like Tame Impala. Is that music is so processed. Everything is so just baked in. It's almost like musical casserole. You can't tell the individual flavors apart anymore.
It is hard, and I would be scared to take a go at it through like producer phones because it would probably almost ruin it. Because you'd be like, oh, the drums kind of sound just okay here. But I think as like a whole piece together, if you're not looking to analyze, this is it. But if you're looking to do what we do, I mean, I would objectively stay clear of doing that ever, but especially on this album.
Yeah, but you also got to know that that's the style going in.
That is true. If you go into this expecting like the deepest prolific shit of your life, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
No,
But if you see a lemon on the cover of the album and think that, you should go to a doctor.
Going with the expectations of exactly what I told Logan when he first asked me about it. It's stoner beach music.
That was the description I was giving, and then I said, cool, what are their best 2 albums? And then he said those 2, and I said, bet. Bought them both, listened to them that day, and said, all right, I got to finish buying them.
All right, let's get into our next song. Every Day is a Holiday. I gave this song a 9 out of 10.
10.
8, but I could probably argue an 8.5.
7. We got 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Now listen, I don't know what it is about the vibe of this one. I know it's somewhere in the middle. It blends a little bit more. but it's the celebratory like kind of vibe that goes along with it. It kind of reminds you of some fanfare-ish stuff, and it's such a great vibe. Like I would turn that on and listen to that shit like all day long if I could.
So when I was listening to this, I wrote down 10, like 4 bars in, when the bass line hit at the very beginning. I was literally like, oh my goodness. Just really
Bass line's
impressed.
very good.
The bass line, and then they came in with the horns and the guest vocalist, the subtle drop in the synth solo. I mean, this was a cool track. This is when I was like, okay, I'm impressed.
You know what I'm always about? I'm always about the horns, dude. Once you introduce a horn onto the track, fuck, I'm there, baby. I can't get enough.
Well, don't mess with a bull. You know what you get.
Covered in bullshit.
Okay.
That's a reference that probably went over a lot of people's heads.
Went right over mine. I'm ignoramus over here.
Hey, you mess with a bull, you get the horns. There we go.
I knew that one.
That's the proper reference. But then there's a parody movie where he's like, "You mess with the bull," or no, it's fucking Super Troopers, isn't it?
Probably.
It's what Farva says. He's like, "You mess with the bull, you get covered in bullshit."
So slight Super Troopers aside, and then we can go back to this. I was the other day talking about how a liter of cola is only 33 ounces and how that's not even a large drink most places, and that makes me angry. Okay, continue.
That is so true. Wait a minute. Let's go back to this Yapcast for 1 second. You're so right, because back then, him asking for a liter of cola was seen as a joke. Like, it was like, that's such an absorbent amount. But now that is like $1.50 at fucking McDonald's. That's so sad.
Yeah,
what have we got to as an economy, bro?
I think a liter's 33 ounces and a large McDonald's is 32. So I think we're dead on.
A liter of cola. Jeez,
All right, we can go back to every day as a holiday now. Sorry.
I was gonna say this is where I really noticed that he knows exactly the vibe of every song that he's making, and I wrote it down. I was like, we need to review music videos on the channel. Definitely not this one because we will get taken down immediately. As Logan said earlier, there's too much ass in this video.
There is a whole lot of ass.
But music videos in general, because I mean, it's a good video. It's just we couldn't review it.
The honest answer to this song is I refuse to change my rating to it after rewatching the music video because it did bump my score. But I wanted to read my ratings as I felt as I listened. And this one, just as I was listening, I wasn't feeling it when I listened to it. It comes and goes. It's kind of in the middle of the album, so those are the tracks that your mind is either gonna like latch onto or let go of. And I just kind of let this one go a little.
I could never let this one go. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's great. All of these songs could easily make my playlist. And like if they just came on and shuffle like right after like Harmless Habit, I'd be like, hell yeah. I don't care.
It's a subtle drop. I'm gonna get you an air horn every time you drop a band.
Or like after Bug Moment.
There we go. There
Natalie
you
Shea.
go. Okay.
Hey, what shirt are you wearing right now?
Oh, place I know. How many can I get to? Big Dale, always spinning his shit. Witchy.
Is that the Monday reel? I just tag it.
Yeah, just every person. You know who's not getting listened to? Father John Misty.
Fuck that guy.
Oh God.
All right. Are we all ready to move on to the next track?
I believe so.
I presume.
All right. Next track is called Lovesick Brain. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Give it a 7.
I gave it a 7.
I gave it an 8.5.
I'll take it. I can get it done real quick. Thumbs up plus. I think I kind of missed this one.
I'll go. This motherfucker had a carbon mic in there somewhere or whatever effect on it, and I loved it. That was enough to get an 8.5 out of me. I heard that and I was like 8.5.
You know what? My review's going to be short and fucking sweet, too. I like the vibe. That's pretty much it. It kind of disappeared into the background for me, but I didn't think it was like a bad disappear. I thought it was like, this would be great for me doing something. Like, if I'm sitting down painting a model, I'm doing that. I'm going to put this on. In fact, I need to do that later. I'm probably going to.
Put on Lana Del Rey for that shit.
So
I can't. I need fucking precision, dude.
this song had too many woos to get anything above a 7. Unfortunately, it was a lot of woo woo and stuff like that.
I hate to tell you that is unfortunately this entire album.
I don't know. It just struck me this time. It was like slap me in the face with the woo woo. You know what I mean? Every girl does that. No, I'm just kidding. No, but for real, if you want me to bring back the carbon mic, I will.
Oh God!
That's
If we could find a way to
having-
run it not
having
so
in a more,
hot.
Having it in a more controlled environment would probably be better than our clusterfuck studio in Columbus.
Our clusterfuck shitty electric ran house.
Well, that part's not going to change.
It can't. Oh, actually, we did figure out what the problem was. You had your gain booster on, didn't you?
No, I had the compressor up too high.
Oh.
So it was literally just making everything way too crunchy. Yeah.
It sounded absolutely fucking hilarious, except for there was just a loud hiss.
Well, and the fact that I was way louder than everyone else at all times.
I feel like that's normally how it goes.
Remember that time somebody showed up at the door and scared the shit out of all of us?
I think about that regularly.
Me too.
I watch the Columbus vlog whenever I'm feeling down and I want to see Giuseppe. So I was watching it the other day, and I was like, I saw the knock on the door clip. I was like, dude, that actually scared the fuck out of me. Like, I'm sitting there like, okay, Connor got Max to show up. And then Connor gives me that exact same look I'm giving him, and then we both click and realize neither of us did. Who the fuck's at the door? And Steven's like, I got it.
While I was over there trying to figure out how to turn the lights off, it was someone that we didn't want to see the lighting.
You guys got a lot of lights in there. You filming a movie?
So, yeah, we can drop the lore of that. It was like a fucking child that showed up.
Yeah, a child showed up asking if we lost a
dog.
dog or had a dog. Not lost a dog, had a dog.
They were advertising like pet daycare, kind of.
Why in the middle of the night?
I said it was
I
like
have no
9
idea.
o'clock at night, they're advertising their pet service? What the fuck?
it was nuts.
I just assumed it was because we'd accidentally turned on all the backyard lights and it was like driving someone insane.
Oh, I for sure thought we were gonna have the cops at the
Yeah,
door.
yep.
I was like, "Here's our clickbait title. We've got this shit straight. It's easy." And then it was not, but we still should have clickbaited it.
I've totally had the cops break into a recording session before, if you want a random little aside. When I was in college, the recording studio was in the basement of another building. And essentially, they thought a bunch of homeless people had broken in and started playing the instruments. Because the only time we could record is when no one else was there. We didn't save any of it. We deleted the take. But you just hear thump, thump, thump on the door, like as I'm playing, like laying down a drum track. And this cop starts turning the key, and I turn around and open the door, because the studio's like a closet, essentially. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "We have permission to be in here." And he goes, "No, you don't. The building's closed." I'm like, no, I have a key right here. This is the only time we can record. And he starts screaming and doing all this and that. So we wait 30 minutes and then do another take.
My favorite Carl stories start with when I was in college, because then it usually leads to some fucking ridiculous story that's like so unbelievably believable.
I censor a lot of them. I mean, I really do. Like, you know.
All right, well, let's go on to the next track. High Rollin'. I give this one a 7 out of 10.
9.5.
7.
7.
I did not like the feature. And also, the vocals in this track are very, like, slurred, I think, almost.
Did you know they were in French?
I did.
Okay.
My issue was mostly the effects at the beginning. I still think this song is a vibe, but the vocal effect, they did too much with the vocal effects in the beginning of the song.
I think
Everything else, fine.
I think it's a little heavy with the vocal effects, too. I think it's... What is the one that he's on for the entire duration of the song? Because there's one that, like... There's one that the main singer uses, and that's fine. Whatever.
There's one what?
Like, vocal effect. And there's a different effect for the, like, feature, and I specifically don't like the features effect.
Well, the vocal effects I'm talking about are only in the intro.
Oh,
for
like the
him.
French, like...
It's just weird. They did too much. They could have toned it back a little bit, and it would have been fine. But I didn't have any issues with the feature at all.
Here, I'll do this before you praise it. This was the definition of filler song to me. This one came and went. It wasn't bad. It was a great vibe, but that's truly all it was to me. I didn't latch on to anything.
I don't know. It was funny. I thought it was really funny that I ended up liking the feature tracks on this album so much. I mean, my top 2 out of the top 3 were features.
I
But
think there was only 2.
yeah, there was only 2 features, and they were 2 out of the top 3. But I liked the sample. I liked the vibe. If a song's in French for me, I'm a sucker for that because I grew up on the Police, and a lot of my favorite Police songs are in French. There's just something about, like, if it's in a foreign language, I stop listening to the lyrics and start enjoying it. Because a lot of the music I like is no lyrics at all, and I tend to think that lyrics get in my way and paint pictures in my brain that I don't want there. I just want to hear the music. So, I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing to say. I feel like most people don't feel that way, but I tend to like music that's in foreign languages better than others sometimes.
See, that's why I
I
like
get
80s
that.
rock, because it's really not about anything worth picturing.
Yeah, it's like Cheryl is in love with Kevin at the bakery, and he sold coffee today. That's like the plot of a whole 80s song.
Yeah, pretty much, and this is why they're great. It's like a Hallmark movie.
All right, let's move on to our next track, God's Machete. I gave this one a 7.5 out of 10.
I wasn't ready. Sorry. 8.
7.5.
Motherfucker, 7.5.
Oh, goddamn. Is this another blender for you guys, too?
No, to me, this had a small vibe switch. This leads into the larger vibe switch of the next song, but there was like, I don't want to say that this was necessarily darker, but that's how it felt. Like the mixing felt a little less happy, but I think it was just to like be like, hey, just over the horizon, we're ending, kind of snap back out of your high state, go back to listening to the music.
Yeah, this was a little bit of a vibe switch, not by much, but I wrote a lot for how little I have to say about this song. This is where I noticed how long the songs were, though. So I was like, this did not feel like as long of an album as it was. But with this song specifically, mainly in the guitar tone, I have full albums behind us right now that are that guitar tone and like barely any lyrics, and it's full albums of just pretty much this song. And I like them, obviously, because they're here, but this is just another one of those, and it's great.
I was really impressed with the rockier vibe, and the upbeat tempo. I kind of said, hey, this is because when we were talking earlier about how you could flip the whole album apart. This is the one song that I think if you did that, you would notice where it ended up, just because it's faster, it's got more punch. I mean, the whole mix has more punch. This song almost doesn't sound like it goes on this album, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It just was interesting.
If you look at the visualizers, all of them are like the band chilling on this beach or chilling at the lake. This one, they're like outside of a Mayan temple reviving a wolf man or something. It's some crazy shit going on in this one.
It is the proper vibe, but a weird one at that.
Maybe this was the point the drugs finally kicked in.
Oh, this is the panic.
This is where they started running out, and they just went all in.
In
on
my
what they had.
numerous listens, maybe call it a marketing ploy, because I was listening to this, and the second this song clicked on, I was like, no, there's only 2 left. So then I instantly went and grabbed the other Dope Lemon record to have on standby to put on. So I think it's a good marketing ploy as far as like, if you're wanting to keep the vibes going, just listen to the next Dope Lemon record.
Wish we could review that one, but we cannot.
Yeah, we cannot even put that thumbnail anywhere, or that album art anywhere close to anything. It's a 10 out of 10, by
I
the
can
way.
censor the album art. That's fine.
It's already censored.
Yeah.
You'd
I
have
can
to
censor
censor
it
even
more.
more.
He photoshops a sweater on her.
ABC.
Carl over
approved.
here looking up the other.
No, you showed it to me last week.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It is. We'll show you later.
Yeah.
Carl.
You can't take it into the other room.
We'll look at it in a little bit.
We'll just stare. And
All right.
worship.
Well, let's get into the last song then. Shadows in the Moonlight. I give this an 8.5 out of 10.
I gave this a 7.
I gave this a 7.
I gave this a 9.
I am on the Logan train here. I really dig this vibe. I liked the switch. I liked how, like, it really stood out compared to the others in my head. It's like the first song here. Like, I noticed that this one is here even on the shuffle playthrough. And, like, I think the background vocals get me a lot, too. I really like those. I don't know. I think it's a great ending. Pretty much.
I don't disagree that this song has to be the ending.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like this is where the drugs wear off. It snaps you kind of back into reality. Because I can realistically miss almost all the songs before this. But then this one always is going to bring me back.
This is waking up after your 4-day bender.
Mm-hmm.
Carl?
I just put it was very bass heavy. That's literally all I wrote down. I think at this point I'd kind of figured out the vibe. I think the vibe was me.
He was sitting in the vibe.
I was literally just staring at the wall, eating Thai food and listening. Dude, there's Thai food all over my notebook. I wish you guys could see this. It's disgusting.
It is really fucking gross right next to my leg.
Yeah.
For $500, you can buy Carl's Thai food notebook.
Yeah, I'll send you the.
It is not a recipe notebook with Thai food recipes in it. It is a legitimate notebook covered in Thai food.
Yeah, with Carl's notes.
It's kind of beat up too. I keep these in my pocket all the time, so it's got this like authentic wear. It's nice. It's like a road worn notebook.
Does that have all your notes for Album Book Club in it?
There's quite a bit of them. I think one of the albums is in the other one in my pocket.
You have another one?
You have another one?
Yeah,
It's like
I have
that
to
guy
keep.
that carries rocks
Can I
around.
draw something in that? After
No,
you're done?
I have to keep a spare just in case something happens. I don't know.
Can I flip to a random page and give you a little doodle?
This one's horizontal. The other one's vertical. If that makes it any better, they have a little different vibe. Just
Gotta
in
keep
case
him
I'm
on
feeling
hand in case we
inspired.
text him Thursday at fucking midnight. We're like, hey, we need you to review an album.
We did give him this album like
Yeah, but
yesterday.
Hey, but we knew he was coming
That is
before
true.
yesterday. We've had weeks where we didn't.
As far as my review of this song, I'm gonna start this off by saying I am no better than any other white girl. I got by the like Halloween vibe of this. It was like, yeah, it's getting to that season. But I'm a big horror movie buff. So I take a different sentiments to this song than you guys. You guys say this is when the drugs were off. No, this to me is when you take your last hit and then you go put a movie on. Like, this is like supposed to lead into me going to watch like Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what I would put on after this. Or the next Dope Lemon record. I think it's a great ending. It is a true release, though. Like, if you want to stop listening to music for the day, this is a great song to put on. Because it's like it releases you from that hold on music. It kind of just makes your stress go away. I was like,
I would argue that the whole album does that.
that is so true.
This whole album is just a stress ball.
This album in the middle of like any stressful workday is so dangerous because you don't want to do anything. You just want to vibe, but it helps you get through the shit workday.
So you would say the release made for a happy ending?
I would say so.
Okay.
I left smiling and satisfied.
I always do. All right, let's get into pacing. 9 out of
I
10.
win that race.
Pacing's
every time.
great. Like we've been talking about it the whole time. All of the songs flow so well into each other. It's you listen to the first track, it stands out. I called it pacing though. I called it pacing. I'm still talking about flow, yo. I think Carl wrote down.
No!
You motherfucker.
You indoctrinated.
But it's great. Like you can turn this on and an hour passes in an instant. It's great.
Yeah, I also gave it a 9 for all the reasons you gave it a 9.
Gave it a 9.5 for all the reasons. The only reason it's not a 10 is because of how much that last song snaps you back into reality.
I think I gave this. Well, I know I gave it an 8.5, but I gave it an 8.5 for the reason of the damning side of having listened to this album so much. Is I've been burnt out on it before when I put it on, and then like the first half was great, and then the second half hit, and it was just like I was kind of listening more than I should have. And so I think that's the exact reason it's an 8.5 is you can get burnt out on this really easy if you put it on and you're not in the right vibe. Like if you're not in the right mood for it.
That was the big thing about today. I think I needed to hear this album at the time I put it on today. It was exactly the vibe I needed to hear. So
I mean, for me, it de-stressed me so much it put me to bed. So like, and I needed that fucking nap. I really needed that nap. It's great. It gives you everything you need.
I put it on yesterday and muted the Bills versus Dolphins game. I was like, this is great. I'm just listening to this, watching the football game. It's the best time of my life.
What a vibe.
Yeah, it actually synced up really well. Like Dark Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz.
All right, that takes us into album art. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's great. It fits it perfectly. I love the lemon. I love the Cadillac. I love the font. I don't think it's perfect. The way the M is kind of, I don't know. There's something about the M-O touching his head. I feel like he should be a little bit further
It's
back.
not. It's behind the head.
I feel like he should be a little bit further back.
If you take the lemon away, then it's perfectly sized up. It's like
That
you
is
put a
perfect.
sticker on the picture.
I was just saying, I think
agree.
it's supposed to be just as
Yeah, I
like a
think
sensor over the face,
Yeah, it's supposed to be that.
not
so.
like her face.
I gave this a 7, and I can tell you why, but you'll have to edit it out. So if you'd rather me tell you later, I can.
I say you'll
do
have to
that.
tell
I'm
us
not
later because
editing.
this is live.
Well, yeah. The live people could get it. I don't really care that much, but it's up to you guys.
Just tell us later.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we'll play.
We've had to pull too many of these down.
It's not down. It's in the playlist,
It's hidden.
and it's only one, unless you're counting season 1. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think it's pretty close to exactly telling you what you're getting into. I really don't know why it's not a 10. It's just something in my brain is saying it's a 9. I don't fucking know.
Nah, I give it a 10 out of 10 all day. I think it fucks. I think it is exactly what you want out of it. I did see it on a shelf and go, what's that? And then upon the description that aptly fitted, I bought it. So
I just wish he was a little bit smaller. I want the lemon there still. I just wish I just wish he was a little bit further back, and then it would be perfect for me.
I think that Cadillac's
that's
a
all
little
it
more
is.
of a lavender than a rose pink. I think they probably messed that up a little bit.
I think it's the lighting.
This is also a girl.
Look at it in the music video. It might be different. I don't remember
Doesn't
how
look like
the
a
shade of the car. But
Sorry,
I can assure you that is a female.
I can't see it that well from over here.
There's no bulge, sir.
I was just saying.
So, hey! Men don't have to have cocks. We know that now.
I was
this
also gonna
motherfucker
say.
really wanted to be in the Monday Wednesday reel.
I was also gonna just say, based on the first album and the album after this, that's a girl.
So we can defend Carson saying right now that not all men have to have chickens. They don't. That's not in the Constitution anywhere. Unlike all of us having bare arms.
That is true.
Exactly.
We all do have the right to bear arms.
No, we have the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, what bear are you killing for him?
Right. But
No,
none of
no.
us.
I think I'm gonna go hunt a polar bear.
I mean, I have my arms covered, but I have the right to have them bare.
But you don't have to own cocks to be a man. So
That is true.
we got that covered. Gotcha, buddy.
4-H told me that.
All right, let's go to album overall. Unless we want to pad for time.
That's kind of what we're
we'll
doing.
do that later.
We'll yapcast
We'll
it
yap
up.
at the end.
Yep, cast up. Overall, I think this album deserves a 9.5. It's pretty close to like perfect. Not gonna lie. In its execution, I'm gonna say like the way everything is stitched together beautifully, and how they set out to make these certain vibes. They do it well. Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like. All the concepts are well put together. You know, it's a really difficult task to put together an album, and this is really close to just being perfect.
So I gave this an 8. So like, 10s for me are albums that belong on like a golden platform, and I have an album that's very close to a 10. That's kind of like this. That's what I listen to when I'm looking for this. So it was a little unfair, but the thing that album does that this album doesn't is breaks it up a little bit. This album it's just a little bit monotonous, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you were going to throw it on in the background, throw it on and kind of vibe and just listen passively. That's a really awesome thing. Just to me, it was a little monotonous.
Yeah, I gave this album a 9 out of 10. I think looking back, this might be my highest rated album on the podcast or in overall. Pretty close to. It's pretty close to perfect. You'll never see me give anything a 10, but I also don't think it's a 9.5 either, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, I gave this a 9 out of 10. With the stipulation, the vibes are a 10 out of 10. But as far as like an album overall goes, I think I should be able to play a 10 out of 10 album whenever and feel it. The honest answers with this is 99% of the time I will feel it if I put it on, but there is that 1% where I'm like,
But by that logic, it deserves a 9.9 out of 10.
nah. But this is the true perfect album to put on in the background. I can't tell you how many countless times Connor and I've been in the middle of doing some bullshit and this album is on.
Yep.
It's just so great.
It's a
Dope
chef's
Lemon's
kiss,
so great.
really.
I mean, even the other 3 albums are great.
A couple weeks ago, I ran them all 4 back to back, and it was fantastic.
Oh yeah. I like the album after this. I think has better songs, but it's not a better album.
Have you heard the one after this?
After this album,
It's not the one you have.
is this the third album?
This is the
Do I have
third
it-
one.
Oh, I have it backwards.
Yep.
So the one before this has better songs, but don't do that, bro. Has better songs, but I think this is a better overall album. It's like the Bad Omens effect.
That is true.
All right, so do we want to talk about some random stuff? We can do a merch spot.
I was just saying we kind of got to do an
we
ad
both got
read.
the hats
because we both
on.
are wearing our hats. They both fit our big old heads, so you should check them out. They're really comfy.
I do have a very large head.
Mine's not fading at all yet, which is awesome because I have like super acidic sweat because I never drink any water.
Yeah, I wear mine to work all the time. I'm climbing up in dusty ass ceilings and like possibility of it getting ripped. Shit's perfect still.
we do have a new merch line coming out. Maybe tonight. We have time. Whenever I go to actually make that, I have the assets already.
I will say, if you look at my hat for frame of reference on discoloration, it will not go your way. But I was also keeping a mop under it and working in regularly 100-degree weather.
Hey, wait, I do that. I've been working in a building that's been 104 degrees.
I got
And-
16 inches of hair cut off.
That's true.
I got a lot of hair cut off.
I don't know how low mine is. Not 16. Like 6. probably.
I looked like the bitch from The Ring when I was in the shower. It was sopping wet. But also, hey, we need songs to review for our song review videos. Drop that shit in the comments. You're supposed to say "do it now."
Do it now. There'll be a better
No.
ad coming out later.
I
This
got
one's
it.
not going in the Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Do it now. You know, one of those.
I'm putting a song in the comments right now.
Yes. Here, I'll do it.
Yeah, the first trial run of that type of video is coming out Thursday.
Yeah,
It's going to be hell to get that done by then, but don't even worry about it.
very doable.
Wait, do I have to review this?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
You were about? Did you put
Randy Travis. song.
Yoko?
No, I put 3 Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis 'cause I feel like crying today. I don't know what's up with me.
Today, this motherfucker's ready to go for another hour and a half on crack. Hell no. Those videos, that video took so long
Yeah,
to
Carson,
film.
you said you had 30 minutes when we started that. We have the video is an hour 10.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was not making
Like,
it.
uncut, an hour 10. So yeah.
Have you ever heard the one about Jewish doctors? Speaking of uncut. I'm just kidding, guys. We can't say that on air.
Oh, we can. You got to juice it, right?
God damn it. I quit, man. This is actually my last show. I actually will not be here next Friday, possibly. I have a show, depending on weather.
Yeah, so next week, for sure, we got me and Carson, and we got Max from Columbus, and probably Witchy, and probably Carl.
Woo! Carl, that is like, I would say, decently far outside of your listening spectrum.
Yeah.
A lot of this is really far out of my listening spectrum. You guys just think I listen to a lot of music. No, I listen to the same 4 jazz albums over and over again.
I was about to say, this motherfucker
Well,
listens
see,
to
that's the thing.
horns.
I don't think it's that you listen to it. I think it's that you know a lot of it. I feel like you grew up in an era where music was just like not the exact same copy pasted shit. There was a lot of it that was copy paste shit, but not all of it was. Like,
I mean, I guess that is pretty fair. I feel
Black
for
Eyed
like
Peas.
people that are younger that grew up with less variety in music. But I mean, you could say the same thing about people from the like from the 70s would say the exact same thing. So maybe in the 80s, music just continues to get less and less variety over time. I don't know. That
mean-
could just be boomer talk, I guess, at this point.
All right.
I mean, if you really think about it, that's how it has to be.
All right, motherfuckers. If you get us to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, I will commit the entire Album Book Club crew to releasing a 50s album where we will do doo-wop.
Also, if we do it, I'm pretty sure we all signed up to get tattoos.
Yeah, we did all sign up to get tattoos. That is a stipulation. We will all get Album Book Club tattoos. That is the main 4 that signed up. I will not sign anyone on the
Yeah,
strike
for
team
real.
up for that.
Yep.
They can join at their own will.
Do you think they can make me a record tattoo that actually plays if I spin?
Yeah.
Just show
We'll
us
make it
speaker.
happen.
Can we just get like
Homie wants to be Stitch. Ohana means family.
for 10,000 subs? Can I make you get a Michael Bolton Spotify play tattoo like on your wrist, and you
I
can
don't know
pick?
about-
You can
maybe
pick
not
like
on my
a,
wrist, but I would. I mean, as long as it's covered by short sleeves, I don't
Hold
care.
on. Can it be a tramp stamp?
Yeah,
Can
that's
we
fine.
tramp stamp Michael Bolton's?
As long as it's a front tramp stamp, I'll shave.
He wants the bitches to see it.
People were like, "What's that?" I was like, "Soundtrack of what's about to happen, babe."
Can I get like Higher by Creed in the front? Oh my god, that'd be fucking lit. Or like Life is a Highway. It's got to be something like purely ironic or just depressing as shit, like In the Arms of an Angel by Sarah McLachlan.
I think
Somewhere
somewhere
interlude.
That's a fucking sin.
somewhere Evan has a hoodie that if you it's a Spotify code and if you do it, it plays Rick Astley.
I know someone was going around to like airports putting QR codes up that said like free money or something like that, and it was just Rick rolling people.
If you're scanning QR codes that say free money at the airport, you deserve whatever happens after that.
It's so very true.
It literally like takes you to a website that says, "Hi, I'm a Nigerian prince. If you will please send me $20,000, I'll send you back 200."
Okay, I can somewhat understand pyramid schemes. I cannot understand Nigerian prince schemes working, right? Because like even if I was 90 years old, I should probably not be in charge of my own bank account. If some dude I've never met emails me and says, "If you give me $20,000, I'll give you $500,000."
Yeah, but
That is not a sound investment.
But if you were 90 years old, if someone came to you and said that when you were younger, that would probably be true, because that would be one of the 20 people you'd ever seen in your lifetime.
That's so true.
I mean,
God damn.
we tend to kind of look at things and kind of judge people based on our perspectives, but it's not really fair sometimes.
That is so very true.
I feel like old people get an unfair just
The Yapcast would go so hard, guys. This is exactly what it would be. We haven't slipped up. Come on.
Yet we started with a
yeah.
slip up, bro. I seem to remember there being a punchline we couldn't finish.
I seem to remember at least 2 to 3 times this episode where we didn't say something.
Isn't that the point? Isn't the point to say something that makes you think of the answer and you not say it out loud?
Yeah, we should say those things and then be like, "Hey, go to our Patreon where you can see exactly what we're gonna say," and we just post a 15-second clip.
That's the power of suggestion.
Power of suggestion. Get us to 500 subscribers so we can start Patreon and do stupid shit.
Honestly, that is the real answer. If you want to see us be completely unfiltered and uncut, get us to 500 subs, and for $5 a month, you fucking got it.
Also, we're real early on this, but if you have any suggestions on what you want us to do on Patreon, we got like 4 ideas. So
4 banging ideas.
I mean, they're good, yeah, but once those 4 ideas are over,
we're
we got
fucked.
nothing. So real early, but
I'm just
send
thinking
them in.
about how good of a t-shirt it is if we get an album sticking out of a brain. And it's like album book club in your brain.
Can we
Get cooking?
POV your brain on Album Book Club.
Can we just get a shirt that says like "I love" and then some sort of like obscene, like BBC or something like that, and then incorporate it into like the album book club somehow?
That, of course, stands for British Broadcasting Company.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I
love-
really can't keep covering for you today.
It's Carl's job. It's on the Yapcast to stop us.
I mean, anyone's gonna take that clip out of context. I'm so glad. I hope they do. That's a funny ass clip if I saw it. So is there motherfuckers commenting on shit?
It's Jessica.
Yeah, Jesse is.
What do you
Mostly
want,
Zach, you
Jess?
can't say that. That's a very valid point at this
She's
point.
talking about doo-wop, I think.
Remember that time we had to?
And BoJack Horseman.
Remember that time I had to edit a video because Zach said something he wasn't allowed to, and then he came back 2 weeks later and said something he also wasn't supposed to.
Back to back.
But to his defense, he literally didn't know the meaning of the word.
He knew the meaning of the second one.
Oh, okay, well, maybe he was just really unhinged
He
that
gets
day.
a pass on the one that's not on YouTube anymore.
The Album Book Club.
Yeah, exactly.
BBC.
I almost said something that was like, I don't think I can objectively say that about Carson's girlfriend, even if it doesn't mean what everyone thinks it means. I was just gonna say she loves BBC, but then it's like Album Book Club, and then I thought about it for a second. Feels objectively wrong for me to say your girlfriend likes BBC, huh?
Okay, but in other news,
Just a little bit.
British television is just better. It just is. If it's not, try it sometime. It's literally better.
Their dramas are significantly better, and I think British humor is hilarious because it's so dry, and half the time it's just shit.
Yeah, they tend to care a lot more about the stories, whereas like, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 American shows I've tried to watch all the way through, it may just be Netflix like not giving a crap anymore, but
very valid.
literally it's like so and so was on this other show, so we're gonna have them play the same character here, and there's gonna be no backstory or no anything, and you're just gonna like it because you liked this other show.
It's exactly what fucking Beetlejuice 2 was. They just wrote Jenna Ortega as Wednesday, and then the rest of the script was written very fucking poorly as well. So that movie just sucks ass. Don't waste your fucking money.
Oh man, I was really hoping Michael Keaton would finally make a comeback. Have you guys seen Birdman? Have we talked about this?
No.
Birdman fucks. Michael Keaton fucks. He was great in The Founder. What do you mean make a comeback? He been staying great.
So you have seen Birdman?
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on the ending? Is he Birdman, or is he crazy?
I think he's just fucking crazy.
It's designed to make you think. It's actually a really cool movie if you've never watched it.
There's so many movies that just are designed to make you think, and they piss me the fuck off.
Yeah,
Like
you're on
Inception. I hate Inception because they're like, oh, they want you to think. No, motherfucker, he's awake. God damn it. The fucking thing wobbles. It doesn't wobble any other time in the movie. They gave you the answer. It's not supposed to make you think. And then the director's like, no, it is supposed to. Shut the fuck up. You did the shot wrong then.
Okay, another Carl story. This one time in college, I was driving a van, and we were going on one of those interstate exits, like the swirls. You know what I'm talking about, the little spirals? And I took it at like 75, and everybody was like, whoa, Carl, hit the brakes. We're not in a dream. Do not roll the van. It was pretty good.
You should always roll the van if the option is to roll the van.
I don't know. They probably would have been pretty mad. I think the university would have made me pay for the van. Considering how much I still owe them, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, they'd probably make you pay for that shit.
Ready to close it out?
I say, yeah, I think we're good to close out. You want to do a real ad read for the Monday, Wednesday reel?
What kind of real ad?
About the add your songs? Comment a song you want to see us review?
We'll do it later. We'll do it next week.
Cool. Check out our fucking Thursday video.
I had something to plug. Oh, are you going to ask for an interview?
Oh, Dope Lemon. We loved your album. We'd love to talk to you. If you've got the time, send us a message.
We'll be back next week. We're reviewing Post-Human Next Gen. Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something like
it's
that.
that.
By Bring Me to the Horizon. It was Max's suggestion, and we'll probably be doing that this week.
Wait, did you say I'd never heard of that? I've definitely heard of Bring Me the Horizon.
I didn't say you never heard of it.
No, I said it's just outside of your
Yeah.
listening spectrum.
Okay.
Do you go that heavy?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's sick.
All right.
You think Carl ain't like that?
I mean, like, when I mean, like, listen like that, I mean, like, that's what you're actively putting on when you're, like, metal. That's your choice.
That's probably pretty close.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
Actually, yeah, I tend to go pretty dark. I mean, that's a lot of what we talked about on
Brothers
the
edgy.
episode we filmed the other day. A lot of that stuff that from
Edgy.
like high school era Carl's a very different dark human
That
being.
is true. I forgot about
Dark
the, like,
Carl.
you've got, like, the Korn era, the Seven Dust type stuff. I always think about, like, whenever I think of metal, I usually think you start with thrash, and just your hatred of Metallica made me assume that you were like, you just stayed away.
No, I really hate Metallica, but I like some other thrash bands. Like I'm fine with like Anthrax. I'm fine with
I fucking love Anthrax.
you know, I'm fine with a lot of those bands. I actually actively like a lot of that stuff. So
We
Yeah.
know a couple other people who really like Anthrax.
The Unabomber.
what would Suicidal Tendencies be? It's probably alt metal. Yeah, it's probably a little. little
I
past
don't know.
thrash.
That's Kirk Hammett's old band, yeah?
You're you're talking to the wrong person. I don't look up the history on purpose so I can actually enjoy the music. Because really, like, so a lot of the bands I hate, it has absolutely nothing to do with the music. It has 100% to do with the musicians. And Metallica is very much that way. If I didn't know who Lars Ulrich was as a human being, I could listen to Metallica and be like, wow, they have a really shitty drummer.
His brother can't separate the art from the artist.
Not in the case of, like, people that are making millions of dollars from me listening to their art, and they're horrible human beings. I tend to have a hard time. So, you know, a lot of times if I want to be able to listen to it, I just don't look into it.
It's fair.
That's fair.
I almost did say Jane's Addiction was Kirk Hammett's band, and then I realized that was Dave Navarro.
That's Dave Navarro. Yeah, the tattoo guy.
And I love Dave Navarro. I like a lot of his Red Hot Chili Pepper stuff.
I was going to say, hot take, Dave Navarro's Red Hot Chili's album is probably my favorite overall, and it's everyone else's least favorite.
That's the one that's got Zephyr on it, right?
And Zephyr
My
song and
Friends.
Aeroplane,
Aeroplane.
which is a hilarious music video if you guys have never seen it.
It's a great music video. It's also just a depressing-ass album. I love it.
And we've hit time.
Yep, that was exactly what I was padding for that hour.
Thank you for coming along. If you've enjoyed the Yap session, tell these guys. That way we can make a spin-off podcast.
On Patreon.
Make sure to like and subscribe. I don't know why that works, but it does apparently. Like and
Say in the
subscribe.
first minute because they don't make it past 30 seconds, but
It's fine. If they made it to this point, they have to.
Yeah,
They're
for real.
contractually obligated to.
By
But-
Satan.
Okay.
Your soul is on the line if you don't like and subscribe.
I thought you meant bias in BYE. I'm like, I don't know why we're wishing him a goodbye,
No.
but bye everybody else.
As in
See ya.
BY.
Dude, if Satan watches our podcast, we've made it.
Hell yeah.
I was gonna say there's only 3 people here, and I'm pretty sure it's 3 people that are sitting on these couches. So one of us is not telling the other something.
Well, it's still at 3, and I'm not watching now, so I think
Well,
your
it needs
view.
a second.
Shh. Well, you remember your view doesn't count.
My view doesn't count sometimes. I
Go
think
ahead,
we'll
I'm watching
close it
all the
off
time.
there.
All right.
Yeah, it was a